Now let us start second EV. Having searched my pockets in vain for stray coppers, coppers stands for coins of low value. Having searched my pockets in vain for stray copper and having found I was utterly penniless, that means no money, I could assume that I couldn't pay the fare, but must go back for money. Oh, you needn't get off. That's all right, said he. All right, said I, but I haven't a copper on me. Oh, I will book you through, he replied. Where do you want to go? And he handled his bundle of tickets with the air of a man who was prepared to give me a ticket for anywhere from the bank to Hong Kong. I said it was very kind of him and told him where I wanted to go. And as he gave me the ticket, I said, but where shall I send the fare? Oh, you will see me someday, all right, he said cheerfully. Cheerfully means happily. He turned to go, and then, luckily, my fingers still wandering in the corner of my pockets, lighted on a shilling, and the account was squared. Squared means settled. But that fact did not lessen the glow of a pleasure which so good natured an action had given me. Now, in this paragraph, writer tells about he find no coins at all in his pockets. Gardiner tells the conductor that he must go back home to fetch some money. At this, the conductor tells him that he does not need to get off. He offers to give the author a ticket to wherever he wants to go. Here, when the author told him the destination, the conductor handed him the ticket. But when the author wanted to know where he would send the money, the cheerful reply he got was that he was bound to meet the latter someday on some bus. Luckily for Gardiner, he found a coin in his pocket at last and he managed to pay the fare. The joy, however, that such pleasantness on the part of the conductor gave him did not forget even a tiny bit. Now, this paragraph. A few days later, my most sensitive toe was trampled on rather heavily. Trampled on means crush under feet. Toe means part of the leg. Toe was trampled on rather heavily as I sat reading on the top of a bus. I looked up with some anger and more agony and saw my friend of the cheerful countenance. Countenance. Countenance means face. Countenance means face, chehra या अर्थाने countenance. Sorry sir, he said, I know these are heavy boots. Got them because my own feet get trod on such so much. Trod. Trod means to walk on. Trod. On so much. And now I am treading on other people's. Treading. Again, treading means to walk on. I am treading on other people's. Hope I didn't hurt you, sir. He had hurt me, but he was no nice about it that I assured him he hadn't. After this, I began to observe him whenever I boarded his bus and found a curious pleasure in the constant good nature of his bearing. He seemed to have an inexhaustible means unlimited, inexhaustible fund of patience and a gift for making the passengers comfortable. I noticed that if it was raining, he would run up the stairs to give someone the tip that there was room inside. With old people, he was as considerate as a son, and with children as solicitous as a father. Solicitous means caring or concern. He had evidently a peculiarly warm place in his heart for young people, and always indulged in some merry jest. Jest means to joke. विनोद करने, थट्टा करने, jest. Merry jest with them. If he had a blind man on board, it was not enough to set him down safely on the pavement. He would call to Bill in front to wait while he took him across the road or round the corner or otherwise safely on his way. In short, I found that he irradiated such an atmosphere of good temper. Irradiated means spread or produce. Irradiated such an atmosphere of a good temper and kindliness that a journey with him was a lesson in natural courtesy and good manners. Now, what is given here. Soon after, it so happened that the same conductor accidentally stopped a step on the author's toe, here, author's toe, causing him much pain. The cheerful conductor was quick to apologize, saying that he had got those heavy boots on because the toes were often trod on. Yet ironically, he himself was now stepping on people's toes. Here, the gardener gives the effect of politeness and how good behavior produces good behavior. From that incident onwards, the author begins to take note of the polite conductor and his action. He seems to have a limitless supply of patience and goodwill towards the passenger, as caring as a son to the elderly and as a father to children. He goes out of his way to make passengers comfortable. The polite conductor always spreads such good temper and kindliness, and Gardiner says that a journey with him taught one what natural courtesy and good manners were. Now, next paragraph. What struck me particularly was the ease with which he got through his work. If bad manners are infectious, so also are good manners. If we encounter incivility, most of us are apt to become uncivil. Apt means suitable, worthy. Apt to become uncivil, but it is an unusually uncouth person. Uncouth means impolite, unfriendly, unrefined. Uncouth. Uncouth person who can be disagreeable with sunny people. It is with manners as with the weather. Nothing clears up my spirits like a fine day, said Keats, and a cheerful person descends on even the gloomiest of us with something of the benediction. Benediction means a blessing. Benediction of a fine day. And so it was always fine whether on the polite conductor's bus and his own civility. His conciliatory, conciliatory means trying to win friendly feelings. Conciliatory. Conciliatory means मैत्रीपूर्ण वागणं, trying to win friendly feeling. Conciliatory address and good humored bearing infected his passengers. In lightening their spirits, he highlighted his own task. His gaiety was not a wasteful luxury, but a sound investment. Here, Gardiner wants to tell us the benefit of such behavior, good behavior. The polite conductor never had any difficulty in doing his work, just as rudeness got rudeness. Likewise, a sunny nature got pleasantness in others. The poet Keats had claimed that he always felt cheerful when the weather was sunny, and says Gardiner, cheerful people here. Cheerful people come to us like the blessing of sunny weather. Obviously, the atmosphere inside the particular conductor's bus was always pleasant. His politeness, his readiness to accommodate, his pleasant manner of conducting himself resulted in making his passenger happy, which in turn made his own work easy. That is why the Gardiner points out that his politeness was not a waste but a very good investment. I have missed him from my bus route of late, but I hope that only means that he has carried his sunshine onto another road. It cannot be too widely diffused in a rather drab world. Drab means boredom, to feel boredom, drab. I make no apologies for writing a panegyric means a speech or a piece of writing to praise someone highly. Panegyric means Stuti par bhashan, a speech or piece of writing to praise someone highly. Panegyric on an unknown bus conductor. If Wordsworth could gather lessons of wisdom from the poor leech gatherer on the lonely moor, I see no reason why lesser people should not take lessons in conduct from one who shows how a very modest calling may be dignified by good temper and kindly feeling.